Welcome to my National Podcast. Let's get into it. Welcome to my National Podcast. Today is Thursday, man. It's a good day. We are going to be doing, I believe it's chapters 15 and 16 of our book. We're going to keep this train a-rolling, baby. Keep this train a-rolling. I got some bit of channel updates for you before we get into today's thread. If you are reading or you were trying to catch up or you haven't read Lights Out, well, guess what? They got you, boy, on Lights Out. All right. So previously, before I posted it on YouTube, and the videos were getting taken down, and then I was able to post it on Spotify for a very long time, and it was up on Spotify and everything was working on Spotify for a very long time, but now those links no longer exist. They went ahead and took all of that content down. So again, if you are reading or you haven't read or you were gonna read Lights Out, well, Lights Out is gone. Yeah, it is gone. They went ahead and took it down. It's a bummer. I'm really upset about that. I found out about that in these recent, couple days, and I was like, what the hell is going on? Some people who weren't in the midst of reading Lights Out were like, what happened to all the episodes? Because they just vanished. And so I looked into it to see what was going on. And so, yeah, those episodes did get taken down. Literally, there's only just the first few chapters up. So if you guys, I'm going to keep those episodes of the first few chapters up. So if you guys still want to just read those, you totally can. And then if you want to, read the rest of the book, then, you're going to have to buy the rest of the book. So I do apologize for that. I wanted to make sure that I addressed that, just so that way, if you guys happen to read that book or you guys want to go back and read it or whatever the case may be, you guys know what's going on. You guys know what's up. And I'll just keep informing people about what's going on with Lights Out. All right. So, without further ado, though, let's get into today's thread. Our thread for today is, what is a secret that you'll have to take to the grave? Ooh. All right. Let's see. I have a room filled with Star Wars collectibles. I don't even really like Star Wars that much. My mom had mental issues, and when I was younger, she just decided I like Star Wars. She would get me something every year. Other people just assumed I collected stuff, and I went along with it. My mom's passed now, and I think of her when I see it all. I'll never admit it to anyone because I feel a bit of her when I get a new Star Wars thing. Dang, that's crazy. As someone who grew up with Star Wars, because, my dad loves Star Wars. My dad grew up in the 70s and 80s loving Star Wars, and he had all of the little toys and collectibles and things like that. And he then kind of introduced, me and my little brother to Star Wars. And I took more to Star Wars than my little brother did. But, to see somebody who they didn't like Star Wars at all, and that their parent introduced them to him, that's crazy. That is some crazy shit, man. You never really know what something really means to people. You know what I mean? Until you ask them about it, or until you actually, dig deeper into it. Because that's crazy. That is very crazy to think about. Oh yeah, I don't like it, but my mom would just always get me something. She just decided that was what I liked. That's crazy. That is crazy. All right, what is the secret that you'll have to take to the grave? When my brother died, he was alone in his apartment for a week with the heat on full blast. He had been suffering with mental illness and had alienated everyone in his life. When we finally got the cops to go in for a check, he had significantly decomposed in the apartment. I will never let my mother know the state of his body. I don't think it's even crossed her mind. He had had a very unpleasant death, but to her, he will always have died peacefully in his sleep. Oh my God. Thank goodness my family is a cremation family by default. Otherwise, I might have had to tell her. I have to live with that the rest of my life, but at least I can spare her. Man. Oh, dude, this is one of those things where, like, I've said it a lot on the show before, where I've always said that, you know, people would come to me with their scenarios and stuff, and they're like, oh, you know, my brother or my mom or my sister or whatever the case may be, you know, they're always like, oh, you know, I'm harboring these feelings, or like I feel a certain way about my family member or whatever the case may be. And a lot of times I always tell them, I'm like, yo, you know, I get you feel how you feel about a certain family member or people, but again, it's like, if you can't say to yourself, if they died tomorrow, I'd be okay, you know what I mean, then that lets you know that you at least need to have some kind of relationship with them. You know what I mean? And look, you guys don't have to be best friends. You guys don't have to be the best of, you know, this and that and talk to each other every day and all that kind of stuff. But a simple, hey, you know, I still don't like what you did, but I love you regardless. You know what I mean? Why? Because I'm myself am even in that kind of situation where, you know, my little brother and I used to be really, 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 really close. And over the years, as we grown up, we kind of grew apart. And, you know, I always told him, I was like, dude, you know, I don't like the things that you're doing, and I don't like, you know, the man that you're becoming. But, you know, at the same time, it's like, I love you. You know what I mean? Like I may not like the person that you're becoming. I may not like who you are and, you know, stuff like that, but I love you. You know what I mean? Like, don't ever, you know, misconstrue that idea. You know what I mean? And I think that he loves me too. It's not just, it's never a simple thing of like he doesn't or we don't have love for each other. It's just for the simple fact that we do see the world differently, and we are walking through the world differently, and we're kind of growing through the world differently. And so it is one of those things where, you know, I always say it's like, with your family members, it's always good to just have love for them regardless. You ain't got to be best friends with them. You don't have to like what they're doing. You know what I mean? You don't have to get along with them even. But having love for them because, and letting them know that, hey, I don't like you, but I still have love for you because of that simple fact. You know, even my dad did a lot of terrible things, you know, when we were kids. And that was a thing that me and my mom talk about to this day. You know, we talk about it all the time, and, you know, and it's just like, I look at it like, yeah, you know, my dad did some shitty things, but it's not going to change the fact that I love him. You know what I mean? And that's why I always tell people, I'm like, look, you know, you may not like them. You may not like what they do. You may not like what they believe, or, you know, or none of that. But at the same time, it's like you love them regardless. You have love for them. You know, you ain't got to be best friends. You ain't got to be the best of mates or anything like that. But you just say, hey, you know, I still love you though. You know what I mean? Because it comes to a moment when they finally do pass that you think to yourself like, damn, I should have at least told them that I love them, or I should have at least let them know that, you know what I mean? I didn't hate them, you know? I never want to be in that mindset of like, if a family member died, I didn't let them know that I at least loved them, or at least, you know what I mean, let them know that, hey, I didn't agree with the things that you do, or the, you know, person you are becoming, or the way you see the world, but I still love you, you know. And that, I think that's just something that is lost on a lot of people, especially now, because you're starting to see a lot of people pull away from even their family members just based off of political views, or because of, you know, the way they see the world, and certain issues and things that are going on in the world. And that for me is just one of those things where I'm like, look, I don't care if, you know, like, I don't agree with anything that, like I have an aunt who is very, very, like, super far left. And I'm not, like, super far right by any means, but I am very conservative. And she does, we talk and stuff like that. And, I don't agree with a lot of her viewpoints, and I don't agree with the way she sees the world and life and things like that. But at the same time, even though we kind of like go back and forth at each other, I always let her know I love you though. You know what I mean? I love you. You can always talk to me, and if it makes me feel good because, she is significantly older, she is in her 60s, maybe her 70s. No, she's probably in her 60s, 50s, 60s, somewhere around there. And my thing is like, if you were to die tomorrow, I never want to sit there and be looking over your casket like, damn, I should have at least just told her I loved her or that I had love for her. I may have not agreed with the way she saw the world, but still love you. But yeah, man, oh man. And so that's why for him, I was just like, dude. Yeah, because you just never know. That shit be just happening out of nowhere. Like, I'm sure for him, that shit happened out of nowhere, and he's like, oh, shit, Like, he was such a recluse. He didn't talk to nobody. Because think about it. If he would have had at least that type of relationship, with his family members, he probably would have got help and would have been alive, or maybe not. We don't know. But yeah, damn, dude, that's crazy. All right, let's get on to our next one. Got a little heavy there. Got a little heavy. Oh my God. Wipe your eyes. Let's move on. Oh man. All right, what is a secret that you're going to take to the grave? My younger brother was obsessed with sharks when he was a kid, and at some point he had read somewhere in a book that if you walked along the beach, you could possibly find shark teeth in the sand. We took a family trip to the beach when he was about 7, and all he could talk about on the drive there was sharks and the possibility of finding shark teeth on the beach. I knew that it was crazy, unlikely that you'd ever find anything like that on a manicured beach in North Carolina, but I also knew how obsessed he was with sharks. So before we left, I went online and bought a small box of real shark teeth. Every time we went to the beach, I kept a couple in my pocket, and when I noticed he was looking for shark teeth, I'd secretly drop one in place where I knew he'd find it. He still has a little glass bottle full of them, and he still talks about how cool it was when he found so many whenever anyone brings up that trip. He's in college now, and I genuinely do not have the heart to tell him that it was me planting them. God damn it, man. That's wholesome as shit. That is wholesome as shit, man. Oh, dude. To kind of be able to give someone like that level of happiness is probably a unmeasurable feeling. You know what I mean? Like, my goodness. I won't lie to you. I've never been able to be in that position to be able to do something like that for somebody. But, man, I wish that I could. Because I'm sure that just gives you unmeasurable happiness. And they don't even know. They don't even know. And, a lot of people like to say, like, yeah, people have guardian angels and people have, people that are looking out for them and stuff like that. And it's just like, that's such a true fucking thing. You know what I mean? That is such a true fucking thing, dude. Oh, just because of like situations and scenarios like that, man. I know, man. I'm not crying. You're crying. Right? Oh, dude. All right, let's get into our next one. What is the secret you'll take to the grave? It was the GED teacher at the county jail in my city. Most of the guys were there for a short time. Others were waiting to be shipped off to prison, sometimes for a very, very long time. One of my students was headed to prison for life without the possibility of parole. He had been sentenced for stabbing someone. I know it sounds crazy, but he was a genuinely nice guy to me and to other students. Unfortunately, he had gotten mixed up in the gang life, but on a day-to-day basis, he was funny, interesting, and incredibly likable. When you take the GED test, you have 3 opportunities to pass it. This guy had already taken it twice and failed both times. Every time he failed, he was absolutely crushed. I was known for having little celebrations for students who passed. They were kind of like mini graduations in a sense. The students would pick songs to play on the radio, and I would give a little speech about them. Sometimes their friends would come up and say a few words too. Particularly, students would really wanted to have a ceremony. I'm guessing that in his entire life, no one had ever really celebrated him or encouraged him. Maybe he just needed to know that at least once someone believed in him and was proud of him. He took the GED for the third and final time just a few days before he was going to be shipped off to prison for the rest of his life. The results came back. He had failed again, but just barely. Couldn't look at him. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't look at him and tell him that he had failed for the third time, knowing he was about to spend the rest of his life in prison. So I didn't. I told him he passed. I figured, what did it really matter? He was never going to get out anyway. He probably wasn't going to have much opportunity to use a GED in prison, and I seriously doubted the teachers were going to throw him a graduation party if he ever did pass. So I told him he passed, and then we had a party. He was over the moon. He was so proud of himself and so incredibly happy. Was it the right thing to do? I don't know, but I do know that for one afternoon, that man got to feel proud of himself. He got to be celebrated. He got to hear people tell him that he had done something good. God damn, man. Oh, dude. Bro, I am not crying. You are crying. Bruh, I'm telling you. Wasn't I just saying that to be able to give somebody like that level of happiness must just be through the roof, bro? Oh, this is such a wholesome episode, man. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. On this show, we go through so many just weird and crazy and horrible things. Let's be real, as far as just like cheating and, it's like just cheating and horribleness and this and that and blah, 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 blah. It's so good and refreshing to have a wholesome episode every once in a while. It really is, man. It really is. It really makes me happy to kind of have a wholesome episode every once in a while because, bruh. Man, because, in a world that's just filled with so much BS and horribleness, you really do overlook the good things that people do and the good things that happen in the world. And I think they're very, very overlooked. And, they're not, brought up as much. I guess maybe people don't care, but I don't know. I truly believe that people still do care. There are people that still do, and that's why I love having a wholesome episode every once in a while that kind of highlights how good that there is in the world. Because I know you guys are even listening to this thinking the same thing. Like, damn, man, there is good in the world. There are good people. You know what I mean? Like America ain't full of fucking crazy people and, motherfuckers just doing random shit or wanting to just, end people's lives all the time and shootings and this and that and yada, yada, yada. And, oh, man, it's good to kind of give yourself, the ability to listen to something wholesome, you know what I mean? And kind of let that positive energy just kind of wash over you for a moment, a moment in time. And I'm glad that this episode was able to do that and bring that, man. All right, we're going to get into our last one, hop through announcements, and then we're going to get right on into you guys' book. Okay, what is the secret you will take to the grave? While I was working in banking, I broke rules. Okay, I forgot an older guy's signature once. He was around 80 and wanted his mortgage to be on auto pay. Our stupid system needed a physical paperwork to be mailed, signed, mailed back, then scanned into a workflow. By that time, he'd be late and he was freaking out about it. So I found his signature, copied it onto the form, and uploaded it. I realized a hold on a woman's account because their debit card was overdrafted by a merchant error. Their paycheck had a hold on it because it was sent in early. It was a holiday weekend. I released the hold so they could get groceries. And then I forgot one. A guy called in and his wife passed. She was 28. He didn't sound any older, but he knew she had a credit card. The credit card had insurance on it, the type that wiped the balance if you passed away. I broke the rules and released info telling him about the card having the coverage. The card had around $20,000 on it that he was stressing out about paying for the funeral or the card. Oh, paying for the funeral or paying for the card. I still remember him sobbing. Man, it's funny because we talked about that. We were just like, there are some people that are just like guardian angels. And this dude was literally just guardian angeling it up. You know, homie was just guardian angeling it up, bro. He was like, hey, don't worry, my guy. I got you. Boom. Because, dude, some stuff really is just like annoying. You know what I mean? Like, dude, life never goes the way that we expect it or the way that we plan it. And it sucks that when life is at its worst, when it rains, it pours. You know, like dude lost his wife, you know, and now he's trying to deal with this credit card. And it's like, damn. So now I got to deal with, should I pay for the wedding or should I pay for this credit card? You know, it's really a when it rains, when it pours. Dude, like trying to pay his mortgage. He's just like, bro, I'm just trying to pay my mortgage, man. That's all I'm trying to do. Like, I don't know why I got to sign this thing and then it's got to go here and then it's got to come back and then you got to put it in the system and then you got to do this. And like, I'm just trying to do my thing, man. You know, and then the lady, like, for some reason her account, you know, gets locked up because of some merchant error and she can't get her paycheck and she can't buy groceries. And that's like, bro, it's, man. You know what I mean? Hey, kudos to that guy. Kudos to everybody in this thread. I will not lie to you. Everybody in this thread, I think, did a lot of good. And I think there are a lot more good people in the world than there are bad people. I think a lot of times we get lost in, you know, just glorifying only the bad things that happen in America and in the world in general. And I think a lot of times it is good to highlight the good things and the good people, you know, because I truly feel like that's just not our world anymore. I don't want to say society, but I guess you could say that, you know, that's just not our society anymore. We glorify the bad things that happen. We glorify like, oh my God, so-and-so cheated. Oh my God, so-and-so shot up this. Oh my God, so-and-so is being an X, Y, and Z and, you know, doing this to A, B, and C. And, you know, we glorify that. You see it on the news. You see it in the internet. You see it on social media. You see it everywhere. Like these are the most popular videos is, you know, a lot of hatred. I ain't gonna lie to you. And it's really good to kind of have a wholesome episode where we're highlighting the good. You know what I mean? I know this, you know, that may make it to where this episode won't be as popular or as seen or as heard by many people just because of the simple fact that, you know, a lot of people rather hear that than some wholesome stories. But hey, for the people who did listen through it and the people that did enjoy it, hey, W to you. You know, you're the type of person that kind of looks at it like, I don't really want to just listen to crazy BS all day long. You know what I mean? I'd rather start my day or end my day, depending on when you're listening to this, with some wholesomeness, you know? And it's like, I do truly believe there are more good people than there are bad people in the world. I really, really do. But that's going to be the thread, man. Hope you guys enjoyed the thread. I'm sure you guys did enjoy the thread. How could you not? You know, I'm sure you were tearing up. Hopefully you guys didn't, you know, cry while driving and crash your car. You know, let's pray that didn't happen. You know what I mean? All right, man. We're going to hop through announcements and then we're going to get right on into you guys' book. All right. So roll the announcements. YouTube.com/membership. Join the YouTube membership, man. We're going to be doing behind the scenes content over there. We're going to be doing exclusive episodes over there. We're going to be doing all kinds of stuff. Definitely get tapped in on there. You'll also be able to listen to this episode, Tuesday's episode, and Thursday's episode completely early. In order to be able to get the behind the scenes content as well as seeing the episodes early, though, you will have to subscribe to our tier 2. Audio listeners, thank you guys so much for all the support. You guys have been absolutely killing, and I appreciate it so very much. Coming out every week, hanging out with your boys, watching the episodes, downloading the episodes. I do appreciate that. So keep downloading the episodes as well as rating us 5 stars. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, X, and Facebook. And subscribing on YouTube. Follow Michael on his socials at Michael the Asshole, and for TikTok as well as Instagram.
15. Jude. Violet leaves the restaurant with the curly-haired asshole, contrary to what I told her. My fist clenches and unclenches as I follow behind, leaving a safe distance between us as they talk and laugh, and Violet trips slightly and falls against his side. Is she fucking flirting? So not only did she meet some nobody for dinner and then let him help her put on her jacket as if she's a goddamn toddler who can't perform the task on her own, but she's also throwing herself at him. I have to calm the fuck down before I bash his face against the concrete. Just kidding. I'll still do that. But there are a lot of pesky people around that would hinder that plan. The guy slides an arm, that will be broken, around her shoulder to steady her. She smiles at him. She fucking smiles, her eyes closing a bit as she looks at him. I was so sure she was uncomfortable with being touched by a man. She fucking flinches whenever a customer touches her. And she did with me as well. Not when she was coming all over my mouth, though. No, she was riding my face then. But why the fuck is she touching the motherfucker? He put something in her drink, didn't he? That's the only explanation. Or maybe she's more comfortable with him than she is with you. I ignore that small voice that should be fucking gagged. There's no way in hell she's fucking that guy tonight. Call it absurd or illogical or fucking territorial, but Violet's off limits to all other men. She's mine until I slice her goddamn throat open, and I'm done watching from the shadows. I stride at a fast pace and step in front of them. They come to an abrupt halt. Blondie's eyes widen, and Violet purses her lips even as she touches the tattoo on her wrist. I've put her on edge. Good. She should never, and I mean never, feel safe around me. She opens her mouth, but I speak first, in my most cordial tone. There you are, sweetheart. I've been looking for you. Her lips part, but before she can react, I pull her arm from his grip. She loses her balance and crashes against my chest. I have to stop myself from closing my eyes and inhaling her deeply, like a fucking drug. She smells like soft roses and bergamot, a breeze of calm amid maddening chaos. And she shouldn't be what defines calm when she's part of the reason behind the fucking chaos. My hand stretches across her lower back, and she vibrates against me, a blush creeping up her cheeks. That wasn't there in her feeble attempts to flirt with Blondie. Serves him right for coveting what belongs to me. V? He asks, like a goddamn idiot, staring at us with eyes so wide they'd be comical under different circumstances. She snaps out of it. Her body that was soft and pliant in my hold stiffens, her small hands fisting against my chest. Violet tries to push me away as if that were even possible. I lean down, speaking so low, so close to her ear that only she can hear me. One wrong move, and I'll slice his throat open and fuck you in his goddamn blood. Her eyes widen as I push back, her entire body going into shock. Blondie doesn't step forward, just watches from a distance, like when I snatched her away from him. He doesn't attempt to protect her or take her back. And this is her type? Like fuck he is. Who are you to V, Violet? I maneuver her to my side, my arm still on her lower back. Her name is Violet, and she's mine. That's all you need to know. I can feel her rigidity, but she won't fight it. She's that responsible and annoyingly cares about others, so she won't let herself be the reason for her little friend's death. Though I wouldn't really kill him, and just said that to keep her in line. I'd still break his arm, though. He rubs his nape, staring at the ground and then back at Violet. You didn't mention you were going out with the Jude Callahan. He knows who I am. Even better.
We're not going out.
She trails off when I tighten my grip on her waist, then sighs.
It's complicated.
Oh, okay. He gives a small pout like a fucking child whose candy has been taken away, not even mad that his fuck mission for the night was aborted.
I'm sorry, Toby.
She tries to release herself from my grip to no avail.
You're a great guy. I don't want to put you in this mess.
Great guy? Great fucking guy? What bad taste in men. Nah, that's fine. You're kinda out of my league anyway. But... He rubs his nape again. Can I have your autograph, Callahan? I'm a huge fan. My friends will be mad jealous. Violet goes lax in my grip, not even attempting to hide the look of disappointment on her face. Her type was so ready to throw her away for an autograph. I'm suppressing a smile as I nod. There's no pen or paper around, so Tobias, that's his name, asks Violet for her lipstick and tells me to sign the tank top beneath his shirt. He barely even looks at her as he turns around and leaves with a bit of a spring in his step. I mean, he should be happy, considering he left with an autograph instead of a broken arm. Violet has already stepped away from me, clutching her wrist. No, the tattoo on her wrist. The one that she uses to calm down or pull herself from whatever ledge her brain pushes her toward. I roll the lipstick tube in my hand. Want an autograph as well? Maybe somewhere bolder? Your tits, maybe? She takes it from my grip and slides it into her bag.
No thanks. I'm not a fan.
My jaw clenches. You seem to be Davenport's fan, considering how you praise his playstyle more than the tabloid hacks paid by his dad. She's still staring down, fiddling with the zipper of her bag, her hair that looks prettier than usual flying in the wind.
That's because he doesn't get high on violence, unlike a certain someone...
I'm in her space now, which is why she jerks her head up so fast and cuts her words off. So your type is nonviolent people like Tobias, who wouldn't even lift a finger if you were in danger. She swallows, but keeps her chin up.
You don't know that. People act unpredictably when faced with danger.
Or maybe it's their true nature that shows. Here's the thing, Violet. I step closer and she stumbles in her attempts to escape me, but I wrap my arm around her waist, trapping her against my chest. I don't give a fuck who your type is. From now on, I'm your only type. She releases a long exhale.
Why are you doing this, Jude? Because you can? Because messing with an insignificant person's life brings you so much joy?
It does.
You know what I think? I think you're only holding on to the remnants of your rage because without vengeance and killing and unleashing your monster side on others, you'd have to face the hollow emptiness lurking inside you.
She taps my chest with her finger.
Right here.
I grab her hand and twist it away. You're into psychoanalyzing now? Shouldn't you have used these abilities on your clusterfuck of a fragile mental state and mommy issues?
We both have mommy issues, it seems.
One big difference. I wouldn't kill myself, and my mother loved me, unlike your waste of space mom. Her lips tremble, and her eyes seem brighter under the glow of the streetlight.
Yes, we are different. Worlds apart, actually. Because I'd never knowingly hurt someone or throw a violent tantrum just because life screwed me over.
My jaw clenches, and I can feel it aching from how hard I'm grinding my teeth. What is it about this fucking girl that seems to push my fucking buttons? And yet you already did. I speak close to her lips. Didn't you?
I did not. I'm really sorry about your mom, but what did you expect a civilian like me to do? Run into the knife? Get killed as well?
If it would have kept her alive, yes.
Right.
She laughs, but it sounds heart-wrenching.
Because the lives of people like me mean nothing. So the rich should live while we rot away.
It's not about rich or poor. I stop myself before I blurt out that it's about losing the one person who cared about me unconditionally in a heartless world. Because why the fuck would I need to explain myself to Violet? She's the one who owes me, not the other way around.
Then what's it about?
She's watching me now, closely, as if trying to sink beneath my skin and latch onto my bones. Nothing you should concern yourself with. I let her go and she steps back. What you should worry about, however, is how you'll pay for the stunt you pulled tonight.
Why should I pay? You're the one who ruined my date.
I'll ruin as many dates as you're foolish enough to have, and you'll pay for not following simple instructions, Violet. I clearly told you to thank him for the night and leave alone for home. What did you do?
I don't have to listen to this.
Something flashes on her face, something dark and potent, matching the sparks that make my dick twitch on the regular whenever I'm around her. She must also feel it, this dangerous attraction that shouldn't exist between predator and prey, this lawless, unhinged need to slam her against the goddamn wall and fuck her. Because she turns around and walks away, her fingers sinking into her bag strap as she quickens her footsteps. She's running away, the only thing she knows how to do well. But I catch up to her and grab her elbow. She gasps as I pull her into an alley that's far enough away from the main street. I'm towering over her, again, and she's pressed up against the wall, again, trapped with me. Her eyes glow in the near darkness as she licks her lips. My gaze zeroes in on the motion, my cock growing thick and heavy in my jeans. Are you seducing me, sweetheart?
I would never.
She says, but then she's breathing heavily and her voice is hoarse. But you were seducing Tobias earlier, weren't you? Falling against him, giving him a view of these tits. I grab a handful of her breast, and she presses her lips together as if fighting, struggling to deny what's happening. But these are my tits. I saw them first, touched them first, licked your favorite drink from all over your tight little pink nipples first.
Stop talking like that.
Why? Is it making you hot and bothered? I slide my other hand down her stomach, relishing the tremor that grips her even though I'm touching her through the camisole. My fingers open the button of her pants. She doesn't stop me, but she doesn't touch me either, her arms motionless on either side of her. If I reach inside your panties, will I find you dripping wet from me? She turns her face the other way, but I slide my hand from her breast to her jaw and turn it back toward me as I bite her lower lip and then kiss her. Damn. God fucking damn it. I've been craving this. A nip, a lick, a taste. The kiss is hot, quick, and absolutely maddening, like everything about her. Violet's tongue moves against mine tentatively, cautiously, as if she doesn't want to do this, but, like me, she can't deny it. The pull, the unhinged energy. I glide my fingers inside her panties and she jumps, releasing an unintelligible sound into my mouth. You are soaking wet, sweetheart. I pull out my fingers and hold them out in the light so she can see the stickiness. Then I thrust them into her mouth, making her swallow her taste. Her glasses fog up with her quickening breaths and she sucks my fingers, her eyes never leaving mine. I'm going to need your lips around something bigger. I pull out my fingers and push her down with a hand on top of her head. Violet gets to her knees as I unbuckle my belt. She looks at my hand, then back to my face, her breathing shallow and her pupils dilated.
I really hate you.
She murmurs, almost as if trying to convince herself. But I'm already pulling out my cock and placing it at her mouth. Show me how much you hate me, sweetheart.
16. Violet. I hate him. I truly, irrevocably, and without a shadow of a doubt, despise Jude Callahan and everything he stands for. But my feelings toward him don't seem to deflate my reaction when he's around. I'd never admit it out loud, but there's been an insatiable emptiness in my life lately. Something deep and ferocious and maddening, like an itch beneath the skin I can't reach. However, that only lasted until he showed up tonight. threatening me and my date and announcing that we're together as if that will ever happen. As if I'd ever be with someone like him who's hell-bent on killing me and making me pay just because he can. We're impossible. I know that. He knows that. But whatever spark that ignites whenever we're around each other doesn't give two damns about those simple facts, because it mounts with every encounter. And God, the way he looks down at me with ravenous, lustful eyes is intoxicating. There's rage there as well, harsh and red hot. Probably because his cock is already half erect right in front of my face, and he's angry that I make him hard. Or his obsession with me does. I have no clue what the hell he's thinking when he corners me on the regular, inserting himself into my life like a damn parasite, but I'm growing dangerously used to this. My whole life, I've been uncomfortable with the way men look at me, but I crave the way his pupils blow wide and how ravenous he looks when I'm in his sights. The feeling that's been coursing through me since he trapped me in the bathroom rushes to the surface. The ache between my legs intensifies as I rub them together on the ground, needing some friction I never thought I'd ache for this much. Jude taps the crown of his cock against my mouth.
Open.
I purse my lips, not because I don't want to, but because the idea I'd simply fall into this unorthodox encounter, like when he ate me out, is terrifying. His cock's size is also making me self-conscious as hell, because it's not even fully erect, and it's already this enormous. Grabbing his cock in one hand, he squeezes my cheek with the other, making me look up at him. He's towering over me like the horizon, and despite the public space, it feels weirdly intimate, as if we're the only people existing in the here and now.
Be a good girl and take my cock in your hot little mouth, sweetheart.
I remind myself that it's not for him, but for me, to prove to myself that I still dislike oral, so I'll finally stop having those disturbing dreams about a man with a helmet and leather gloves visiting me every night.
Use your hands. Don't just leave them lying around.
He orders in firm words that rush through my spine. I wrap both hands around him and jerk him up and down, looking up to gauge his reaction. That's what I've learned about blowjobs. It's all about the man's reaction. Jude's face remains impassive, but he's growing bigger in my hand, harder, and holy hell. If I thought his cock was big when half erect, it's massive now, and the base of my stomach tingles with a weird sensation. He slides his thumb over my mouth as I swallow hard, squeezing and feeling on edge just from his eyes.
You wore lipstick today. You never wear lipstick.
It was a special occasion. Why do I sound breathy?
Special occasion, huh?
His voice is huskier but darker.
From now on, you only wear lipstick for me.
That's not...
Shh.
He removes my glasses, and I can see him clearly now, probably because they've been gradually fogging up.
You shouldn't hide these eyes.
Something about the way he's watching me feels intrusive and frighteningly intimate because I love the way he looks at me. As if I'm someone he can't explain, someone he can't help but want. Jude slides the glasses in his back pocket and grabs my hands that are around his cock and guides it to my mouth.
Enough with the foreplay. Wrap these pink lips around my cock.
Still looking up at him, I pull him deep into my mouth, the smooth, velvety skin sliding all the way to my throat, and I still can't fit all of him. I take a moment to fall into the choking sensation instead of fighting it, and then dart my tongue, licking the underside of his cock, bobbing up and down to use the inside of my mouth, my tongue, and my throat for friction.
Mmm.
He sinks his fingers into my hair, his jaw tight, betraying his usually unaffected expression.
Your little mouth is made to take cock, isn't it?
I moan around him, using the spit and the salty pre-cum as lube, working my mouth even if my jaw hurts. The obscene wet sound is so titillating. I'm rubbing my thighs together. No clue why I'm getting hot and bothered by sucking his cock, but I can feel my panties getting soaking wet. This is degeneracy.
But not just any cock.
He gathers my hair in a fist as he thrusts into my mouth.
My cock.
I groan, deep-throating him as far back as possible, remembering to breathe through my nose.
From now on, this mouth won't be fucked by any other cock but mine.
He drives deeper, holding his cock at the back of my throat.
These lips will only wear pink for me.
For a second, I can't breathe. I'm choking and spluttering, slapping my hands against his muscular thighs, clawing at his jeans. Then the strangest thing happens. Pressure builds in my pussy, violent and sudden, as tears stream down my cheeks.
You look beautiful when broken.
He pulls out his cock and I choke, coughing. The excessive saliva, pre-cum, snot, and tears mixing in an unceremonious mess. There's no way I look beautiful. But as I stare at him, panting, I can see his wide chest heaving and his eyes darkening to two orbits of reckless desire.
Open.
He taps his wet crown against my mouth again, and I don't think twice, opening it wide as he thrusts all the way to the back of my throat. I don't attempt to put in any effort. I just let him choke me. Fuck my throat, actually, using his grip on my hair to guide my head whichever way he pleases.
Damn. God fucking damn it.
He's so high on lust, so hard and brutal, I'm gasping, and it's not in response to what he's doing. My own thighs are shaking, rubbing, searching for something, anything.
Why does your mouth feel so fucking good, Violet?
He's mad, and so close to coming, I can feel the anger and lust and hate emanating off him. And I find solace in his anger because he wants me. But I'm mad at myself for finding his dark brutality so alluring right now. The way he touches me, uses me, makes me feel as if he can't get enough of me, is turning me delirious.
Why you, of all people?
He grunts, his every muscle tightening and coiling, and then he pauses because he notices. Of course he notices. His gaze slides to my thighs that are rubbing together, and I want to stop. I really do, but I just need something more.
Jesus Christ. You got turned on being throat fucked?
I try to shake my head, but I feel him getting even harder in my mouth, which I would have thought was impossible. And something inside me brightens and explodes in a myriad of colors I've never experienced before. A gasp leaves me when he pushes his boot between my legs and presses it against my core. Even with the jeans and my panties as a barrier, the pressure electrifies me, and I hum against his dick.
I love how red your face is.
Thrust.
You're a natural at taking my cock, sweetheart.
I'm moaning, squeezing my thighs against his boot, needing the pressure and the fucked up pleasure only this man can give me.
Ride it.
He slides his boot up and down my pussy.
Show me how much you want to come, Violet.
I don't even know what's happening to me, and I don't allow myself to think. Holding on to his leg, I lift myself up and down against the tip of his boot. The pressure makes me lightheaded, or maybe it's his cock in my mouth, or the lustful power he's looking at me with.
Good girl.
He holds his cock at the back of my throat, my face so close to his groin, but I don't stop moving, rubbing, grinding, moaning, falling. I don't recognize myself anymore, but I don't have to, and I don't want to. If anything, I stop thinking altogether when his rough voice cuts through my mind.
You're doing so well.
I kind of melt. I don't know how or why his praise affects me, but it does. And then I'm coming, the rush overtaking me like a storm. But I remember to open my mouth wider as I ride his boot, feeling my wetness dampening my jeans.
Fuck, Violet. Fuck.
He cracks. His dick swells and bursts, flooding the back of my throat. I swallow it, and as I watch him, his face tight, his abs contracting beneath his shirt, another orgasm hits me like a tidal wave, rushing and pulling and turning me delirious, knowing he came because of me. I'm making the Jude Callahan, worshipped hockey god, an unfeeling monster, come in pulses in my mouth. Cum trickles on either side of my mouth, despite my attempts to swallow as much as possible, and I'm flinching, too sensitive after the orgasm. Jude pulls his cock from my mouth, and I kind of suck around the crown, which makes him release a gruff sound. I don't know why I do it, really. A thank you? The need for this moment to stay a little longer before reality hits? He seems to be as lost about the reason as I am, but he strokes his fingers along my jaw, gathering the cum and thrusting it back into my mouth. I'm about to swallow, but he shakes his head and holds my mouth open, his thumb pressing on my lower teeth.
Open wider.
My jaw aches, but I try to open as wide as possible, and his eyes turn ravenous, insatiable. Hell, I think his cock is twitching. And it's because he's watching his cum pool on my tongue, I realize, my spine tingling in response. He watches it for long moments, or maybe it just feels that way because I'm caught in his gaze, completely taken by the way he watches me as if I'm... What? Something precious. Don't be an idiot. He clamps my mouth shut.
Swallow every drop.
I do, accidentally licking around his thumb that's still there, and I think I feel him vibrate, but it only lasts a moment before he removes his finger and steps back. The distance is small, but the sexual tension fades in the background of a bigger tension as reality sets in. The we're not supposed to do this, let alone enjoy it reality. The this will end in a disaster reality. Jude tucks himself in, then buttons up his jeans as he glares at me. There's anger and hatred, and even a hint of confusion. And it's as if I'm being stabbed by it as I stand up. I run my fingers through my hair, willing it into submission, and dab the corners of my mouth. I'm not sure if that will remove all traces of him when I can still taste him with every swallow, but the silence is deafening and I feel exposed and too self-conscious, especially when I notice Jude watching me with narrowed eyes.
Where did you learn to suck cock like that?
He finally asks, offering me my glasses back. I put them on, looking anywhere but at him, then let my lips pull in a sad smile. Watching my mom give hundreds of blowjobs through the crack of the closet door during most of my childhood. His eyes widen the slightest bit, but I turn and leave before I can see the pity in them. Or worse, more hate. Fee! Oh my God, are you okay? I startle as blood drips from my finger, and I realize I sliced through it with a knife as Dahlia rushes toward me. She holds my hand under the stream of the kitchen faucet, and I wince through the sting. Does it hurt a lot? She checks my finger left and right. Thank God it's not that deep, but it's not shallow either. It's fine. I try to go back to chopping the vegetables, but she turns off the stove and drags me to a stool so she can bandage my wound. It's not fine. She frowns as she retrieves her first aid kit and cleans my finger with antiseptic. You've been zoning out as usual, probably overthinking. That obvious? I grimace. You do that a lot anyway, but it's more serious lately. By lately, she means ever since Jude came into my life. Even I can tell I'm on edge, but also not on edge. It's weird to describe, but one moment I feel like I'm flying, and the next I plummet, racing to the bottom of a cliff with my demons. My mood is flaky even when I mask it and shove my emotions in the grave I made for my 10-year-old self. And I don't know how to fix it half the time. The only solution I've found is to always be busy. Work, school, side activities. Even now, after we're back at school, I try to work as many shifts as physically possible, both for the money and to avoid alone time with myself at night. Because that time, nighttime, scares me, and I've been waking up shaking and even crying from nightmares. Sleep has always terrified me. I've given up hope to ever enjoy it. Dahlia's brow furrows, locks of her dark hair escaping her messy bun as she wraps a Band-Aid around my finger, then sits across from me. I feel like you're hiding something from me. Don't be silly. What could I hide? She narrows her eyes. Are you sure? I nod. I don't know about that. She tilts her head to the side, still watching me with suspicion. Enough about me. I rub her arm. Tell me about your classes at Greystone University. Is it everything you wanted? Hell yeah! She punches the air. I've been going through all the material, and their medical program is honestly one of the best. I feel so lucky to have been offered a scholarship there right before school started. It's hard work, not luck. Don't downplay how much time and effort you dedicate to your grades, doll. I know, but it's super hard to get in. And since they rejected me 3 years ago, I never thought they'd open the doors for me again. Gah, I'm loving it so much. Her smile falls. I'm not loving that we're on different campuses, though. Maybe I shouldn't stay at the dorm and come home every day instead. Absolutely not. It's an hour's drive, and you only have a bike, so that would take forever and cut into your study time. Just stay there and make new friends. Nah, she hugs me. You're my only friend. I hug her back. We're meeting on weekends like this, and you can come home on holidays. Or maybe you can apply to GU? She pulls back, her eyes sparking. I know it's a long shot, but maybe... I don't think that will ever be possible. I'd never study at the same campus as Jude. It's enough hassle that he comes all the way here. Though he hasn't since I creeped him out with the reason behind my blowjob skills. That was 3 weeks ago. Mario said he hasn't been around because he has family obligations and has been busy with resuming training ahead of the start of the hockey season. I feel like Mario is trying to console me or something. But for some reason, I can feel Jude everywhere in this tiny place, even when he's not there, like a damn ghost. I don't want to get in touch with him, especially now that I don't have to since he stopped bugging me to watch his hockey games. But I can't help but be worried about the whole thing with Dahlia and GU. It simply can't be a coincidence. As she said, they rejected her application a few years ago, so it's unusual that they'd change their mind out of the blue right before the start of classes just because a previous scholarship student dropped out. I mean, they could have, and Dahlia is seriously smart and hardworking, so they might have been dazzled by her grades, but still. This entire situation is giving me a bad feeling. Dahlia is humming as she goes to return the first aid kit. As I wait for the broth to finish cooking, I pull out my phone and stare at Jude's name, then at the counter where I keep seeing images I'd really like to forget. It's been weeks, and yet those erotic dreams won't leave me alone. I swear I've used my vibrator the past couple of weeks more than I have in years. Is this a sexual awakening or something equally ridiculous? After much deliberation, I type out a text. Me. Did you have something to do with Dahlia's acceptance into GU? My heart jumps when I receive a reply right away.
Stalker. What happened to hello?
Me. Hello. Are you behind my sister's scholarship?
Stalker. If I wanted to offer someone a scholarship, wouldn't I have offered it to you instead of your sister?
Me. I don't know. Maybe you want to control me through her and make sure I always know you can get to her whenever you want.
Stalker. I can get to her whenever I want now. If I wanted to threaten her life, I don't need to offer her a scholarship.
Me. Is that supposed to make me feel better?
Stalker. Not sure. Did you text me to feel better? Or because you're now alone, with no support to distract you from yourself or me?
How does he even know that? How can he recognize that I've been feeling low since Dahlia moved to the dorm at GU 2 weeks ago? I try to put up a courageous front so as not to spook her, but truly, I miss her so much. But I don't want to be selfish and sabotage her once-in-a-lifetime chance just because I can't be a grown adult and simply exist on my own. Me. Good night.
Stalker. You can end the conversation, but you can't escape me, Violet.
Me. Haven't been trying to. You're the one who ran away. I realize I've said too much even before his next text appears.
Stalker. Miss me?
Me. No, I've never been more at ease. If you don't show up again, that would be great.
Stalker. Liar. You've been looking over your shoulder, searching for me everywhere you go.
Me. How do you know? Mario?
Stalker. Not important.
Me. Why do you even want to know all these things about me? Do I not creep you out?
Stalker. Creep me out. I thought I was the creep.
Me. Well, you are.
Stalker. Wow. Thanks.
Me. You're welcome.
Stalker. Very funny. Now tell me, why would you creep me out?
Me. It's nothing. Forget it.
Stalker. Tell me.
Me. No.
Stalker. Then I'll jump over your balcony and find out the answer in person.
Me. You can't. Mario said you're busy training.
Stalker. Bold of you to assume I won't leave. Be there in an hour.
Me. Fine. It's about what I said about my mom. Just forget it. I wait and I wait, watching the dots appear and disappear. It feels like forever, but when his text appears, I have to hold on to the counter. Because he says the words no one has ever said to me.
Stalker. It's not your fault your mother was a deplorable human being who didn't deserve to be a mother in the first place. She creeps me out, not you.
I'm still reading and rereading his words when my phone pings with another text. I think it's from Jude, but it's an unknown number.
Unknown. Hello, Violet. Your life is in danger. It has to do with Jude. Please text me back so we can discuss this further.
All right. Well, that has been today's episode. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. We will see what happens with, Jude and how her life is in danger and who this unknown person is next week, man. Love you guys. I will see you guys on Sunday for another lovely episode. Yeah, man. A word from our sponsor before we get on out of here. YouTube.com/membership. Join the YouTube membership, man. We're going to be doing behind the scenes content over there. We're going to be doing exclusive episodes over there. We're going to be doing all kinds of stuff. Definitely get tapped in on there. You'll also be able to listen to this episode, Tuesday's episode, and Thursday's episode completely early. In order to be able to get the behind the scenes content as well as seeing the episodes early, though, you will have to subscribe to our tier 2 audio listeners. Thank you guys so much for all the support. You guys have been absolutely killing it. I appreciate it so very much. Coming out every week, hanging out with your boys, watching the episodes, downloading the episodes. I do appreciate that. So keep downloading the episodes as well as rating us 5 stars. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, X, and Facebook. And subscribing on YouTube. Follow Michael on his socials at Michael the Asshole, and for TikTok as well as Instagram.